Everyone wants to be better, smarter, happier, more confident. We scroll through endless videos, buy the books, chase the routines, hoping we'll finally become that version of ourselves we keep dreaming about. But here's a question. What if you're not something to be fixed, but something to be found? They tell you to wake up earlier, work harder, think more positively, and maybe you try. Maybe you succeed for a while, but deep down, you still feel not enough. So you chase the next thing, and the next, and the next. But what if the endless chase is the problem? What if you're building a ladder on a house that was never broken in the first place? Real self-growth doesn't start with ambition. It starts with honesty. Not how can I be better, but why do I feel like I'm not enough? That's not a question we usually ask, because it's uncomfortable. It means sitting with silence. It means looking at parts of yourself you've tried to hide, the fear, the shame, the loneliness. But in that raw, honest space, something shifts. You stop performing, and you start listening. You are not a checklist. You are not your productivity. You are not how many steps you walked today, or how well you stuck to your routine. You're a person. You're allowed to be tired, to not have it all figured out, to grow slowly and messily, and in ways no one else can measure. Improvement doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes it looks like rest, like forgiveness, like saying, I'm doing the best I can today. You don't need to become someone else to be worthy of love. The world tries to sell you a version of happiness that depends on changing yourself. But real peace comes when you can sit with who you are and not flinch. When you can look in the mirror and say, I may not be perfect, but I'm learning, I'm healing, I'm trying. That's not weakness, that's courage. What if self-improvement wasn't a fight, but a friendship? What if the goal wasn't to become someone new, but to remember who you were before the world told you you weren't enough? Before you compared yourself to everyone, before you started measuring your worth by your output, before you learned to wear a mask just to feel safe. Maybe the real work is unlearning, softening, coming home to yourself. Maybe it's in the quiet mornings when you let yourself breathe without rushing. Maybe it's in the tears you finally let fall, or the silence you sit with without needing to fill it. Maybe growth happens when you stop trying to prove anything and just allow yourself to be. Maybe healing is not about adding more, but letting go. Letting go of the old voices in your head. Letting go of the guilt, the pressure, the need to always be on. Letting yourself be messy, human, whole, just as you are. So the next time you feel the urge to improve, ask yourself this: is this coming from love or from fear? Because when it comes from love, it's not about becoming more. It's about becoming real. And that version of you, the one that's honest, kind, and quietly strong, has always been there, waiting for you to stop running. And finally, just be. Because when it comes from love, it's not about becoming more. It's about becoming real. And that version of you, the one that's honest, kind, and quietly strong, has always been there, waiting for you to stop running. And finally, just be. But that's not easy. The world moves fast. It praises noise, speed, achievement, and punishes stillness. So when you choose to slow down, to sit with your own thoughts, you might feel like you're falling behind. But ask yourself, behind what? Who decided the pace? Sometimes choosing not to chase is the bravest thing you can do, because in the silence, you meet the real you, not the version curated for approval, but the one who's been whispering all along, I just want to be heard, seen, loved as I am. We've been taught healing is a straight line, that once we find the right answer, we'll be whole. But real healing unfolds like the seasons, slow and quiet. Some days, growth looks like progress. Other days, it looks like surviving. And that's still growth. There's no shame in feeling lost. The caterpillar dissolves before it becomes a butterfly. It breaks apart before it transforms. What if you gave yourself that permission to fall apart, to not have answers? Because sometimes the most radical act of self-improvement is self-acceptance. That doesn't mean giving up. It means growing up, learning to treat yourself with compassion. You don't have to be fixed. You just have to be held. Held by your own patience, your own belief that even in your mess, you are already enough. So no, you don't need to become someone else. You don't need to build a better version of you like a project. You just need to remember. Remember the softness you buried, the dreams you silenced, the joy you left behind chasing success. Come back to that, to the still, small voice inside. It's been waiting, not for a better you, but for a truer you. The one who can rest without guilt, love without fear, exist without apology. That's what real self-improvement looks like. Not a battle, not a checklist, not a performance, just presence, just peace, just you.
If this made you pause, if you're drawn to deeper truths and quiet strength, then you're in the right place. Like, subscribe, and keep exploring with us. See you in the next one.